I'm Julie, and I work for the Morgan County Public Library. And I'm here today to talk to you about a book. And this is a new nonfiction book in the collection at the Waverly branch. And so the book that I'm going to talk to you about today is called Stardust to Stardust, Reflections on Living and Dying. And this is written by Eric Olin Wright. So that is the cover of the book. And so I'm trying to think of how to explain to you the reason that I chose this book to talk about. It's obviously has the potential to be a sad book, and it is. It is a deeply sad book. But I think that the reason I chose this book to talk about is precisely because it's not something that we often talk about, and so I wanted people to be aware that this book is in our collection. It is a deeply sad book. There's no doubt about that, but it's also a deeply beautiful and deeply moving book, and so. What I would like to do is I'll read a few excerpts for you. One is an excerpt from the family of the author, and then a couple of excerpts from the author himself. So Eric Olin Wright was a sociologist. And he was diagnosed late in life with acute myeloid leukemia. And so, as a way for him to both keep in touch with people who cared about him, as a way to let him know how his treatment was going, he kept a blog. And he also kept a journal, and so those two things also were a way for him to reflect and process his thoughts and reflect on his situation. So let me start with, so this is a little bit in a section that's called A Note from Eric's Family. Over the course of 10 months of treatment and hospitalization for acute myeloid leukemia, Eric wrote a blog, which he made public. He wrote almost every day, including the day before he died. He wrote about what writing was for him, a joy and excitement, a way of sorting out and deepening his thinking on matters. He started the blog primarily as a form of efficiency, a good way to keep in touch with people and keep them abreast of how he fared. But it became a source of comfort, connection, and revelation. It also magically created community, and this was something Eric did wherever he was. He felt connected to people, and they to him. And through their comments and responses to the blog, and the awareness that they were all sharing the same information, people experienced connection with one another. That is to say, they felt themselves to be part of a community. And so I'll stop there. There's quite a bit more, but that's enough just to share with you some of the background of the story. So, and then this is from the book flap from Eric Olin Wright himself, and this will tell you a little bit about the title Stardust to Stardust, where it comes from, to give you some sense. So, human life is a wild, extraordinary phenomenon. Elements are brewed in the center of stars and exploding supernova. Spewed across the universe, they eventually clumped into a minor planet around a modest star. Then, after some billions of years, this stardust became complex molecules with self-replicating capacities that we call life. That I, as a conscious being, will cease to exist pales in significance to the fact that I exist at all. I don't find that this robs my existence of meaning. It's what makes infusing life with meaning possible. And so that's a quote from the book flap, and then I'll share with you just a little bit of information on the inside then. This is from an entry called Some Thoughts on Why I Am Writing This Journal. And so this is kind of starting partway through. But informational updates are not, for me, the main thing. I am having a rich and interesting experience, and needless to say, one that triggers lots of thoughts and reflections. I know that some of you will be interested in my musings, and again, the easiest way to share is to post. I would in any case be writing these kinds of musings, something I often do when I travel. I haven't in the past ever posted my travel journals, but I thought many of you would want to read about my travel to the land of acute myeloid leukemia, so why not share? And then skipping ahead, he ends that section by saying, I'll write when I can and share the writing with you, because part of the happiness I get from the pleasure and meaning, part of the happiness I get comes from the pleasure and meaning some of this may have for the people I love. And so that gives you some idea of what the author's motivation is in sharing this information. And so there are a few pictures in here that his family has collected to share as part of the book. Not a lot, but a little bit. And so again, this book is called Stardust to Stardust, Reflections on Living and Dying by Eric Olin Wright. It's a book that is owned by the Waverly branch, and so you can either come to the branch to check it out, or you can place the item on hold and request to have it sent to whatever location you'd prefer to pick it up at. If you have questions or you would like to contact us, you can visit our website at morgancountylibrary.info. Thanks for listening today.